Came on earlier for a bit, distracted some, had a little conversation about anxiety and what's been going on with me for the past month and a week. I'll give it a few moments. The hardest parts about the anxiety and withdrawal is that your head can make it 100 times worse. But the worst part is, since I have benzo withdrawal syndrome, then that means my nervous system's wrecked. And that means anxiety makes all my symptoms grow out of control. So then you have this constant spiral of symptoms. Then that makes your anxiety worse. So there's a point where you have to try to just live your life and say, fuck it, I don't care how I feel. I'm not at that point. But I have to be soon, or I'm going to fucking just crash. What type of anxiety do I have? What kind of anxiety do you have? You know, it kind of seems to affect people differently. Mine comes from my gut. It's a level of fear in my gut. It just feels like I'm scared all the time. And the stronger it is, the more it gets bigger and goes throughout my whole body. And like right now, my whole body is just buzzing, and it feels like there's an energy within my skin, just buzzing and feeling really anxiety stricken. But the worst is the shit in your gut. It's constant, it's exhausting, and I turn right, I turn left. It's like almost my stomach is always dropping. Like I'm looking over a fucking cliff. Like, oh God. You know, it's so sensitive. And I know I'm making it worse by thinking about it. So I spent the day trying to relax and meditate, got some work done, got my head out of my ass. And then once I start sitting there watching TV, I start falling in the hellhole of anxiety. Start overthinking. I can't distract 24/7. It's like I do it most of the time, but then the parts that I'm not, it's like it starts me over. It's like it fucks it up so much. I'm still able to function, but it's so uncomfortable, so tired of it. You know, I'm doing all this for the greater good, to get off this medication. But it seems like a never-ending process because I can't get through a taper. The last 2 tapers were pretty good, and then this one destroyed me, and my anxiety got out of control, and the anxiety makes my other symptoms crazy. And I'm wondering if just because I can't help but to think, but like, did my mind do all this? Maybe that's why the last 2 cuts were okay, because my mind didn't fucking fall. But this time, everything fell apart. I feel like I'm pretty strong. But when it comes to anxiety and the feeling of fear all the time, it's like I don't want to be scared 24/7. There's nothing to be scared of. I'm actually in a comfortable place. My life is good, and you know, I've got some things I have to take care of, stress-wise, and things I have to work on, but in general, my life's better. Not sure what to do. I have to try to stay really strong and try to beat it. And it's like, right now, scanning myself feels like shit. Just feels like shit. So that makes my brain want to scan more. There's times where I can get away with like it feeling tolerable. Like if I take a bath, it's tolerable. It's just like how it used to be years ago. My anxiety was never this bad this long, though. Maybe it was. I don't know. It's too hard to tell. I don't really remember then. I was going through so much, and I know anxiety was a big part, but usually when it gets this bad, it would last for about 2, 3 weeks, and then it would subside. I tapered a month and a week ago, Remeron, and it's at the worst point it's been. It kept getting worse, and then there was a bunch of days it got better, and then it came full force again, and now I can't let it go. And now I have to make a difference in my life. I have to change things. I have to start meditating more. I have to start paying attention to my mental health more. I was doing pretty good for a while. Probably the best I've ever done in the last 8 years. But admittedly, I'm exhausted. And I just want it to stop. But I know in order for me to have my mind not freak out on me, I have to accept it and just live with it. Just be like, okay, get used to it, and then eventually I won't worry about it so much. And that's so hard. I've done it before to a point, not fully, but it's like I still hate the anxiety, but I just need to relearn how to react to it, as Drew Ensalada would say. I have to learn how to react to it, not be scared of it, even though it feels frightening. There's nothing scary, and I know that. So anxiety is just, it's such a scam, because it's trying to save you from something that's not even happening. And the only way to really turn it off is drugs. And that's not true, but it feels like the only way to turn it off is drugs. And yet I won't do that, because that was the whole thing that got me into this mess in the first place. There's some things I could take, like I can take a little gabapentin once in a while just to calm things down. But sometimes I have a bad reaction and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I could take a little hydroxyzine. It helps with my allergies, and sometimes it helps with the anxiety. And if my mind can, if I have to do that a little bit, I will. But I'm not at the point where I feel like I should. I want my body to take care of this and my mind to be strong enough to take care of it. But realistically, taking the medication is last resort, because there's a good chance it could make it a lot worse. It has before. So usually the only time I ever took the hydroxyzine was for sleep, if I needed to sleep. But I haven't taken that in ages, years, few years, 3 years. So I have a prescription for Flexerol too, for muscle stuff. And sometimes that helps anxiety. But that hangover is brutal. And I would have to deal with the backlash of symptoms from that. So what I need to do is just relax. Like I'm sitting here watching TV, talking to you, whatever. There shouldn't be a problem. My life is easy as fuck tonight. What's the rush? Why do I feel like gotta get something done? Something's gonna happen. It's pure anxiety, and I can't relax. And I haven't relaxed in years, but I was getting closer, that's for sure. I could watch a movie without, making it a big deal, my health a big deal. But now it's like a constant reminder. Distraction makes it possible to survive it. But distractions are very Ugh, very tiresome. I like making these videos for me to vent, but I also like making these videos because I know a lot of people can relate. And nobody's ever alone. Life is hard, and some of us were definitely given a really shit stick. So it's about taking what you have and making the best out of it. And right now, I'm in a new world with my anxiety. And it's one of those things that it's going to take a long time to get back, I'm sure. But it's going to be so slow that I barely even notice it's happening. And then I'm going to be like, no, I've been okay. It hasn't been as bad. It's just been a long time, you know. But I have to continue doing what I'm doing. I mean, I don't have to do it to the extreme. Like, I'm not going to be going to any shows or anything like that. I do feel like I should start exercising more. And see, that's the hard part. Like, I was doing pretty good while tapering. I even moved during, like, not long after I tapered. But during those months for the last year, I was slowly moving my stuff. And it was a lot of fucking work. But my anxiety was tolerable, and my brain was a little more alert. Ever since I moved in, I've been working, doing stuff around the house and stuff like that, but not lifting anything heavy, not doing anything crazy. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. Like, do I need to, relax as much as I can, then get back to busting ass? Or will that make it worse? I don't know. I just don't know. It's such a tough fucking call, because I could easily make myself worse, or I could make myself better. I mean, honestly, I'm not going out and exercising per se, but there's a lot of things I could do to, like, get my muscles going, get my blood pumping, even though that's a lot and it can fuck you up. But I'd rather be fucked up anyway, other than the brain. The brain and anxiety. I don't want my mental symptoms to be stronger, and I don't want my anxiety to be stronger. So it's either I start getting out now and start walking more, even though my allergies are bullshit. But, like, I walked to the post office today. Mind you, it's just right down the street, and it takes me just 5 minutes. But I did walk. And I remember back in the day, people would say, start walking more and stuff like that. And that ended up helping to a point. So I might have to start that. But it worries me, because the more I seem to do is the more, I don't know if at those times, it wasn't a taper problem. It was just because of my anxiety. But, like, since I tapered a month and a week ago, this probably has something to do with my taper as well, and my nervous system being shot because of the anxiety from it. And because normally I'm starting to feel a little better by now, but it's not. I just want to feel better. But obviously I can't force it, and I have to realize this is my new normal. And I think that's what scares me too. Now, my girlfriend doesn't put pressure on me for this stuff, not like past people. But I do have like a PTSD from the past, where I feel like I have to be a certain way, And I think the pressure causes me more anxiety, but that's my own head, and I have to do something about that. So I just think I need to be like, I'm sorry, things are different right now, and I don't know how long it's going to take. I love you, and I'm still the same person. It's just much harder for me right now. And things will do this once in a while. I don't know when it's going to happen or why, and it sucks. And one day when I'm off the meds, it's probably going to get really hard for a while. And then I'm going to get better, and it's not going to be as often. If people can hang out and understand that, that person needs to be commended, because it's not easy. But I don't feel pressure by the situation I'm in. I feel pressure by my own head. Just PTSD. I have PTSD from benzo withdrawal syndrome. I have PTSD from medication tapering. I have PTSD from my past relationships. So I have PTSD of anxiety. You know, how bad it can get and not knowing how to control it because I can't use medication. If you can't use the medication, what do? I just have this constant, uh, constant surge of anxiety going through me. And it feels toxic as fuck. It feels super toxic. And that makes me want to fucking break down and cry. It makes my nerves just on end. You know, so I just have to try to distract as much as possible because it's weird. I'm so sensitive. Come here. Oh, hold on. Come here. Cats. It's like I know I'm making myself super sensitive because of the stress of it and the anxiety. I get it, but I think after tapering, I think like I just need to calm it down enough so my body and nervous system can heal a little bit from the taper, so that when I do feel or scan for the anxiety, it doesn't pop up as strong, and eventually I can scan for it and it won't be such a big deal. And I'm not scanning for it on purpose. My brain is like a damn movie projector. Scan, 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 scan. It's just constantly scanning. And the only way it won't scan anymore so much is if it starts to feel better, and then it won't be looking for it so much. And I don't know how to break that cycle otherwise. I wish I did. But it seems like the more you start feeling better, the less it'll scan. And like I said, the idea is to not give it all the energy that it wants. But it's hard when you feel so disgusting on the inside. Ugh. Anxiety in any kind of withdrawal is brutal. It's brutal because you're so sensitive. But then, mind you, it's more brutal when you're coming from a benzo withdrawal syndrome where a medication actually dysregulated and fucked up your nervous system and your brain. So then you're just so sensitive. And then every little cut from something else, it's just brutal. It's just brutal. It's hard. And it's hard to move on with your life. And I get why people just stagnate, because it's like, why go further? Because the second you do, you're going to be put back, and it's going to confuse everybody. What do you mean you can't eat that again? What do you mean you can't go there? And you feel like an asshole. And it's like, I have no reason to, but you just kind of feel like a jerk. It's like, ugh, I want to do that, but I can't. So it's hard. I mean, luckily, like I said, I'm in a good situation now. It's where I can talk, which I don't talk about it often. Lately I have, because it's been really hard. But in general, I don't talk about it all the time because I don't want to live in it, you know, because it's not who I am 100%. I am not my illness, but it is a huge part of my life, and it will be for a while. It never stopped because, you know, it's real. It's very real. Alrighty, that's the talk of anxiety. That was about 20 minutes. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. You can